And it took a little bit longer than usual, but we're on.
Quite a delay here.
Like the
What's
same
going
colored
on?
shirt for some reason. I mean, yours is a little lighter, I think, but
Cubby Blue, I know what you're doing.
um, I don't know about that, but
Uh-huh.
whatever. Okay, well, we got the matchup that we deserved, that we earned, that we spent all season waiting for. They're finally going to play, and you know what? Gonzaga's going to win this game, but we'll talk about it a lot here. Um, I want to get into a couple things around college basketball first because we're not just a national championship show. You got to cover the entire game. And when a job like North Carolina opens, it's pretty notable. And then when there's a hire that underwhelms people, also notable and not surprising that this happened. Not my number one choice. I don't think if I were a part of the boosters or whatever there or however they voted on it and the athletic director and all that stuff, I would not have hired Hubert Davis as my number one choice at all. I mean,
I could see that, but I mean, you got to give. I mean, how long's he been there? You got to give the man
9 years.
his due. So,
Yeah, but
and he knows Roy's system. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know, but I mean, he learned from one of the best out there. So, I think it's a good hire.
I think it's a good hire, I guess, but it's not who I would have hired. I would have hired Wes Miller, way younger, played there, is from there. He's won the SoCon regular season 3 times with UNC Greensboro. Imagine what he could do with the resources that North Carolina has. Like when you get a job like North Carolina, you don't have to worry about recruiting that much. I mean, you already have one
True.
of the biggest brands. All you got to do is have a good coaching staff, and you have to know how to, relate to players and put them in the right spots.
But
It's
Hubert Davis was
obviously,
part of that coaching staff.
yeah, but I just think that Wes Miller is much younger, and I would like that as a player or a coach who's much younger.
Yeah,
I think that's a big part of it. But
I
I
think you give him a shot. That's
yeah,
just
I guess I just I'm telling you,
it's not the splash you were hoping for. Is that what you're
I
saying?
don't think they were ever going to get a splash.
Yeah,
I
true.
I always thought it would be either him or Wes Miller.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Wes Miller's had a lot of success at the lower level. And when you're a head coach somewhere that's at a lower conference or a mid major conference and you have success there, you deserve a look at a big, especially when you played there and you're from there. You obviously know the area. And you know how much easier it is to recruit at North Carolina than North Carolina Greensboro?
Are you just assuming they didn't give him a look?
I mean, I don't feel like they did.
Okay,
I think they probably had a list of candidates and he was probably on there, but they
sure,
hired Hubert Davis pretty quickly.
sure.
And I think there's a lot of people, or I think there was a couple reports about there was a lot of people that on that committee of boosters or whatever that were voting on it to see whether they would hire Hubert Davis. A lot of them wanted Wes Miller, but they were probably talked into Hubert Davis, I guess. But
Yeah,
we'll see. It's better than Jerry Stackhouse. That's good.
yeah,
There's a difference between having success in the SoCon and being absolutely horrendous and yelling at your own fans in the SEC and being a douche. So there's differences there.
true.
So Stackhouse would have been a horrible hire, would have been an F hire, worst hire of the cycle. But whatever, it's an overall good hire. Not who I would have picked, but guess what? I'm not the AD there, so what does it matter?
Exactly. It doesn't.
There you go. I'm sure that some people think that the Mike Woodson hire is worse than this. I don't know if that's fair. I think Mike Woodson's actually going to have a good staff there, which is really all that matters.
I think Mike Woodson will be fine. I mean, the thing
He
is,
did well with the Knicks. I mean, that's
Indiana's fan base expects too much. Is the problem?
obviously. I mean, when was the last time they were like legitimately relevant, really good? Like 8 years ago, they had that team that was number one that
Yeah, Illinois beat.
beat Kentucky and then lost to Illinois. Yeah, very exciting. But I did see that Dane Fife, who's been pretty much Izzo's right hand man for the last decade, is going to join Indiana staff. He played at Indiana. That's a great hire because he's one of the best recruiters in the Big Ten. When you look at assistant coaches in the Big
pickup.
Ten, recruiting wise, he's right there. So that's a huge pickup. They already have, like Indiana right now. If Armand Franklin returns, we know Trace Jackson Davis is staying. There's really no reason why they shouldn't be back in the tournament next year. Like they have almost everybody coming back. They're going to bring in some guys too. I know that they landed, what's his name? I think Parker Stewart from UT Martin, who was the son of the coach who passed away early in the season last year. So he's going there, I know.
Okay.
But they already have a lot of talent there. So there's really no reason why Mike Woodson shouldn't at least get close to making the tournament. If they should make it, to be honest, and that should be the expectation, and it will be. I'm sure Indiana fans expect undefeated national champions next year. So there you go. But
obviously,
I don't know what the difference would have been between Brad Stevens and Mike Woodson. They just have to win a championship, right? That's all that matters.
Correct.
And Indiana hasn't won in 30 years, 29 years, something like that. So very cool. Good for them. Don't like Indiana, but whatever. I did have a UNLV fan in my mentions last night complaining about how much better of a hire Lon Kruger's son, which I think his name is Kevin Kruger or something.
Yeah.
How much better of a hire he was at UNLV than TJ Otzelberger at Iowa State. And it's like, that's the hill you're going to die on. Your head coach leaves to go to Iowa State, so you got to go out of your way to say how much better the new UNLV coach is than the other one.
Interesting.
Like, let me see the tweet here. It says, why can't I find it? Damn it. Was it deleted? Blocked? Did I get blocked? Whatever. But basically just said it was a much better hire at UNLV. So, yeah, I did get blocked or deleted. Interesting.
Boy.
So I think the
It's
name of
like
the person,
you in Green Bay, and it's all over again. So it makes you sad.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Definitely a huge UNLV fan. So I gotta find out if I got blocked now.
By UNLV?
No, it's just UNLV Rebel Girl.
Oh,
Twitter didn't block me, but deleted the tweet. So
yep,
maybe
she knew she was
realizing,
wrong.
you know what, this is stupid. What is the point of this? And I would agree. What is the point of that? Like, Otzelberger has coaching experience and was a really good recruiter when he was at Iowa State as an assistant. So just because you're Lon's kid doesn't mean I'm going to put you in my top 5 coaching hires. And I think the big question is, will Hubert Davis be my top 5? No. The top 5 right now, that tweet got some game, got some play. And it was let me find it here. 40-something likes, I think. So I think there was a lot of Utah fans that liked the post because nobody cares about Utah basketball. So when you make a tweet about them, they're going to be like, okay, I like that. Very good. Let me find it. Why does it take so long to find tweets? Got it. Okay.
I don't know. Because you tweet too much, probably.
Definitely. My top 5 hires: Chris Beard, number 1 at Texas, number 2, Porter Moser at Oklahoma, number 3, Craig Smith at Utah, 4, TJ Otzelberger at Iowa State, and 5 was Pat Kelsey at Charleston. So a lot of Utah fans into that because obviously nobody cares about Utah basketball. So anyway, let's talk about the Final Four and how the fact that the games were the opposite of what people thought.
Isn't that crazy?
I should have seen that come from a mile away because usually when everyone thinks something, the other thing happens.
That's true. Never go with the public is what the gamblers say, from what I've heard. You always fade the public. So, yeah, kind of crazy.
I mean, good timing here with that. The dog barking around, we started talking. That was quite something. Not a fan of what you're saying, I'm sure. But I think what it comes down to is that Baylor – flat out is just better than Houston. Like Houston, they had a chance going in. I had Baylor winning by about 7, I think. I did not think Houston would be down 25 at the half. I thought their length and athleticism and their ability to defend would come into play here. But I think what we noticed is that when Houston doesn't have more than one guy scoring, it's a huge problem because Marcus Sasser had 17 of 20 points for them in the first half. So when Grimes is not hitting shots, you have Sasser in there. I just didn't think that it was going to work with only one guy scoring. He had 17 of 20 in the first half.
Yeah.
Baylor's just better. I mean, what can you say? When Jared Butler's hitting shots again, Baylor becomes even better than they already were with him not hitting shots. Like against Villanova, he wasn't hitting shots. They still defended their way into a dominant win. So they're definitely a unique matchup for Gonzaga, but I just don't think after Gonzaga was able to overcome that game in a game where UCLA literally played a perfect game.
Yeah, and that's what they had. UCLA had to play a perfect game. My thing is, did Baylor let it all out the game before? I mean,
I
that's
think
my
they're
word.
too good. I think they're too good to not have a good
Yeah,
game
but I
tonight.
mean, 46% from three. That's kind of UCLA shot 47%. 58% from the field.
I think the difference is that Baylor is so much better defensively than UCLA.
That's the question: is Baylor going to be able to finally stop Gonzaga's
And
offense?
Baylor had 6 guys who shot 40% plus from 3 this year. So I'm not really worried about them being able to shoot the 3 ball. I think
Yeah.
they'll be able to do it.
This was really the first game where Baylor's offense came to play ever since the COVID pause, I guess.
Yeah.
They really haven't. Their offense hasn't been what it was all year, so they're bad. This should be one of the greatest championship games we've seen in a while, and I say that, and it's probably going to be Gonzaga by
Yep.
20. But
Yep. I
I
mean,
think anybody can stay with them. It's going to be Baylor, and I know everybody was rooting for UCLA, or at least the people that don't really care about college basketball, because nobody wanted to see UCLA Baylor.
UCLA winning would have been tragic for college basketball.
Yeah.
Really would have been.
So I'm just glad that, it sucked that anybody had to lose that game because that was
Yeah.
such a good game.
That was an
it-
all-time great
yeah.
tournament game.
Yeah.
And anyone saying like, "Oh, finally a good game in the tournament," shut up. I mean, this has been a really good tournament. I don't
Yeah,
care that there
it
hasn't been any buzzer beaters until that one on Saturday. It's been a really good tournament. And you know what? We have the tournament back. So how about we not critique the quality of the games in the tournament? We can't be
Quality's been absolutely fine. Exactly.
Yeah.
We haven't, it's 2 years in the making. So
Of course, an Elite Eight matchup like Oregon State Houston is something where you should probably puke and not want to watch it, but you got to watch it. That's not a great matchup for the sport.
that's true.
The best case matchup was probably like Illinois West Virginia for in terms of people wanting to watch. I mean Houston, I guess, but I don't know. I just thought that Baylor's back. They're playing as well as they have been all year. I think that
Yeah.
honestly they haven't looked better than that game.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
And they probably would have won by 30 if they didn't kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit there in the second half. But they were outscored by Houston by 6 in the second half and still won the game by enough.
Yeah. Handily.
So,
Handily.
this is a matchup we've earned, that we deserve.
Absolutely.
I don't really see any other way to end this season. I think there's someone who said in the second round that all this madness and Gonzaga Baylor being the championship. I don't know if that was me or not, but I did say
I
that.
think that was you.
Yeah, so nailed
my
it.
sister actually quoted you the other day after Gonzaga won. So
Is that right? Okay,
yeah.
That's good. That's very good. Here's another thing you got to think about. That was also my pick in my bracket. Now I did have Baylor winning, so honestly,
True.
I will be rooting for both teams tonight. I want both teams because whoever wins is a good scenario for me.
Who are you actually taking though? You're taking Gonzaga.
Right now, I pick Gonzaga, but if Baylor wins, then my bracket's correct. So I can play to both sides here. I like Gonzaga. I
I'm
want them
just
to go
asking who you're
undefeated.
taking.
I've liked Baylor all season. I've had them at number 1 many weeks in this season.
What's the spread?
So I think it's 5.5 or 4.5.
Wow.
I think it's 4.5.
I'll take Baylor all day.
I think Gonzaga covers that.
Take Baylor money line.
Also, I heard something on the radio earlier. I don't even know what I was listening to. Some moron who doesn't ever watch the sport, who probably watched the game and now thinks he's cool. He was saying something like, I don't even know who this guy was. I don't even know what station it was. I just heard it. I don't know if maybe I was dreaming it. I don't know. But he said something like, UCLA is one of the best teams in the country or something. It's like, oh my God.
Yikes.
They're literally a Cinderella team. Like, by definition, I don't care how many championships they've won.
Right.
I don't care what their brand is. I don't care what conference they're in. They're a Cinderella team because they're really not that good. Right. Like, they were carried by Ju Zhang.
Ju Zhang absolutely carried.
And Hawkes and Tiger Campbell. All 3 of those guys were finally making shots together in this run.
Do you think Ju Zhang played himself into a lottery pick? I've been hearing that.
I think he played himself into being a first-round guy, like
15
through 25, maybe 15 through 30, but I don't think he'll be a lottery pick
He
unless
was
a team really
impressive.
likes him. But
Yeah.
well, he turned himself from a kind of a spot up guy to a creator that can score, kind of what Adam Miller is probably going to try to do.
Yeah.
Because
Adam Miller to
Adam
Michigan.
Miller,
Is that the new rumor that people are
I don't
spreading?
know or care, honestly. I
How
really
is he
don't.
going to Michigan?
He's not going to Michigan.
There's no way. There's too many
And
good
if he
players.
does, you know what? Go ahead. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't care.
Losers. Get a life, Michigan fans. All you're worried about is recruits 24/7. Give me a break. How about you beat UCLA in the Elite Eight first?
True.
You know, he wasn't used properly at Kentucky. He was only a spot up shooter, only averaged like 3 points a game. Goes to UCLA, bada bing, bada boom. He can finally create his own shots.
Yeah.
Less talent around him. He's the go-to guy. How many points did he have in this game?
29.
Okay, so he had 57 points.
Yeah.
In 2 games.
Impressive.
In the tournament. It's not bad. I don't know if it's, Max Asmus good, but
okay. Wow.
Just kidding. He did it against 2 number 1 seeds and in the Elite Eight in the Final Four.
Yeah.
So
What
pretty
a
good.
run.
I mean,
What a run.
it was a great run, but I got to tell you this: they're going to be picked to win the Pac-12 next year. Not going to happen.
Let down.
So they're not going to win
Let
the
down
Pac-12.
city. Yep.
Everyone's going to think about how good they are now and say all this stuff like, no, we can't buy into the hype there. This was a magical run. Mick Cronin will never win a title there. They'll be good,
Ouch.
but I don't think they're ever going to win a championship there. So whatever. Maybe people think I'm going too far, but that's just my thoughts. People tend to overrate a program when they make a huge run like this.
That's true.
And in the regular season, UCLA was not that special, especially down the stretch. They lost a lot of close games, but I don't know. Cody Riley was making jump shots. That kind of changed the game here, that he was making all those mid-range jumpers.
Yeah.
And they had to respect him a little bit, even though they really didn't. He had a ton of open looks.
Yeah.
But it's very rare, and it really shows you how good Gonzaga is, that they average 1.2 points per possession.
Yeah.
UCLA did and lost. Like, that never happens.
And Gonzaga, for Gonzaga was having an off night. What was Kispert? 2 of 8 from 3. Maybe if he put a little arch on his shot, he'd make some of those. But,
he made a couple big ones, though.
He did.
Made a couple big ones, got a couple big rebounds.
Yeah. I think he hit one in overtime, right? I told Heather that the game was over, and then, of course, UCLA came back and probably should have went to overtime if they would guard before people got to half court. I still don't understand that. Cronin did it against Alabama and let Alabama get it to overtime, and then he did it here and let Suggs get a pretty good look from.
This was a much harder shot, though, than the one that Alabama hit.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it wasn't, but why do you not press the ball a little bit? Unreal.
Yeah, Gonzaga hasn't been very efficient from 3 in the tournament. 33% in this game.
Yeah.
60% from the line. So,
yeah.
And rebounding-wise, they got out-rebounded by 6.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like, Baylor catches them at the right time. Because they haven't really had their A game. I guess USC, they pretty much dominated the entire game. But other than that, we'll see. Here's the big thing. I heard someone say this earlier. Baylor basically has rotating bodies underneath, and the only way they can win this game is by slowing down Drew Timme. And how they can do that is get really physical with him. You basically have 15 fouls to give with him. Whether it's Vital, Thamba, or Chamwa, Chachua, you got 15 fouls to give.
Yeah.
You don't really care if those guys are getting a few fouls in the first half. I guess you do care a little bit, all 3 of them. But,
yeah, sure.
I'm just saying, like, they got to get physical with Timme, make him uncomfortable. And then guard-wise, I think right now, with the way everybody's playing, 3 guards that start for Gonzaga, I would take Baylor's guards right now.
Yeah.
Honestly. I think Ayayi's playing great, but Nimhard has been good, I guess. Suggs really didn't have that good of a game. Defensively, he made some huge plays down the stretch. Right. He had 16 points, but, I'm just saying, Jared Butler is playing the way that he's supposed to play, which is All-American. Davion Mitchell, same thing. Maceo Teague, hitch or no hitch, he's hitting the
It's
buckets,
in. Yep.
making shots, good defender too. So we'll see. Maybe it's
I
going to come down to
think it's
Corey
gonna be a good
Kispert
one.
versus Matthew Meyer 3 balls. Who hits more? That could be what it comes down to.
Interesting.
We'll see. Defensively, though, you got to like Baylor coming into this. If they can defend a little bit better than UCLA did and make shots, they have a chance.
And I mean Baylor is pretty dang good defensive team. So
Well, if you had to put a scale together, Baylor would be way at the top defensively, and UCLA would be at the bottom. So
sure.
that's kind of what it comes down to, because Mick Cronin, even though he's basically a defensive guy, you can't say we're going to play defense as hard as we can against Gonzaga.
Right.
Like, you can't make defense your focus if you're going to try to beat Gonzaga. You have to score with them.
Yeah.
And I thought that
And
their
I think
plan to slow down was good.
Yeah, and I think that they can't overplay, which Baylor has a tendency to do, because Gonzaga will backdoor you to death. So
Yep. Hopefully Scott Drew, if you're a Baylor fan, hopefully Scott Drew doesn't F around and try to get cute with his game plan.
True.
It's got to be
Don't
demoralizing.
get cute, Scott Drew.
It's got to be demoralizing for UCLA to have that good of a first half and be down 1 at the half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you score 45 or 44 points and you don't miss shots, and you literally slow the game down completely to where it's played at your tempo on your side of the ball, at least. But the thing about Gonzaga is every time that UCLA scored or missed a shot, Gonzaga was off and running. They did that every time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I wish everybody would do. The way that Gonzaga played is how everyone should play. Like, it's good basketball to watch. It's efficient for the most part, even though they haven't been that efficient in this tournament. But you don't let the handlebar stash get going. You'll be in trouble if he does. And, Gonzaga hasn't faced a team like Baylor that has the physical bodies, and more than one of them, that can compete underneath defensively. Like, Evan Mobley's big, but he's not that good defensively. And Timmy exposed him. So we'll see. I don't know if there's anything else to say about this game. Do you have anything else?
I'm just glad we're here. National championship. Girls game. If this is anything as good as the girls game yesterday, I will
hopefully more
it.
points, though.
So, well, yeah, of course. But that's just
there should be more points.
It's just the way it is. But that was a heck of a game. Felt bad for Arizona.
I wanted Arizona to win.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, so I'm just, this is the matchup we wanted back in December or whenever it was.
Yeah.
We didn't get it, and now we got it. So
I think Gonzaga would have won that game
if
they played in December.
Yeah.
But now we get it.
I think it's better that they didn't play it at this point.
I agree.
So
the fact that we got this means that it was worth canceling it the first time.
I agree.
Because if this was the second matchup, it wouldn't be as exciting, I don't think.
I agree. It's been the two best teams all year. This is what the national championship's all about. We don't got to watch UCLA.
UCLA probably would have found a way to beat Baylor, honestly.
They probably would
have beaten Gonzaga. I mean,
I agree.
That would have been the stupidest thing ever. I'd probably never watch a tournament again if UCLA won it all.
Yeah.
That would be so annoying.
I agree.
That would open the gates up for everyone. Like, we'd have 11 seeds winning every year. It'd be stupid. But
true.
What is the matchup that you were most looking forward to tonight in terms of player on player?
Honestly, I'm excited to see the guards. Guard Suggs. I don't know who. I'm guessing Davion Mitchell will be on.
I don't know.
Suggs.
I think it might be Butler.
Yeah.
So Teague and Ayayi will be really good. Then probably Nimhard and Mitchell will be my guess.
Okay.
But I wish Davion would guard him, but I don't think he will, just because, I think Davion's like 6'1" or 6'2", and Suggs is 6'4", Butler's 6'3", so
yeah.
Like that.
But yeah, I'm excited to see the guards. I mean, we talk about how, the guards at Gonzaga are pretty good, and then you have Timmy, which I don't know what exactly Baylor's going to be able to do. If Joshua is going to get some more time to try to shut him down. But
What
overall,
their
it should be a
plan
good
needs to
game. I
be.
did see somebody, I think Sean Paul retweeted it. I can't remember the guy's name, but said this is the first time since the 2005 game that we are going to have 5 All-Americans playing in the national
Yeah, I
championship.
saw that. So it's like
it's pretty exciting.
05 was Luther Head, Darren Williams, D. Brown, Sean May. Was he?
Yep. Sean
and
May.
Raymond Felton.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, these All-Americans are better than those All-Americans, I would say. If they were playing a 5-on-5 game, I would take these All-Americans.
It's evolution. They're all better these days. D. Brown, Luther Head, Sean May, Raymond Felton, Darren Williams, and then Corey Kispert, Jared Butler, Drew Timme, Jalen Suggs, Davion Mitchell. It was by @Jared Burson. Let's give him the credit where credit's due.
Shout out. So this should tell you that Baylor's going to win because the team with less All-Americans wins. Baylor will win and Gonzaga will get cheated out of a win. There you go.
Yeah,
Same
we'll see
thing
how
as
the
05.
refs are. I mean, the refs doing a pretty good job keeping Gonzaga in these games.
All right. I don't know why people ran with that narrative in this game. Like, if you're going to do it in any game, do it in a different game than this. Like, UCLA had more free throws than Gonzaga for most of the game. And what are you going to do? You know, if you're Baylor, when Flo Thamba starts, you tell him to get physical with Timme early. He'll probably take a couple fouls. That's how you control the game or start the game at least. Get physical with him. No flagrants, but hit him in the arm when he's going up.
Hit him hard. Wait.
That might
not
be a
do
little
that.
much.
Okay.
Yeah, jeez.
Not
take it down a
condoning
notch
violence.
from there. Woo.
Hey, but good on UCLA to actually not let Gonzaga cover a spread for once in the tournament.
That was exciting for them. Yeah, they what was the spread on that game? 16
14 and a half.
14.
Biggest in a Final Four game ever, I believe.
Yeah, that's not surprising, obviously, considering it's an 11 and a 1 and an 11 that barely got to the point where they could be in the tournament. So, this is the matchup that we earned, folks. As you can see on paper right here.
Enjoy it.
This is the one that we earned. Gonzaga,
enjoy it. Hopefully it lives
Baylor.
up to the hype.
And nobody should have any sort of beef with either of these teams. Like, it's not Duke and North Carolina or Duke and Kentucky or Kansas or any of those.
Baylor hasn't won since 1950 and Gonzaga's never won. So
I don't think Baylor's won.
They haven't? Oh, first time they've been in it since 1950?
First time they won the Big 12 since 1950.
Oh, okay.
Since first time they won a conference title. Baylor historically is not a good program.
True.
And I've said it a lot. And a lot of people have said this. When Scott Drew took over Baylor, they were a disaster. Horrible. And it's taken about 20 years, but here they are.
Here they are. They were in the national championship in 1948. They lost to Kentucky 58-42 in a high-scoring battle.
Yeah. No three-pointers, so it's harder to get to the numbers.
That's true. 42, still not very good.
We should have a simulation. 2021 Baylor against 1948 Baylor. Who wins? 2021 Baylor by 70? Okay.
I don't know, man.
Well.
All right.
Play with either rules from those days, and you go with it. So, who are you picking?
Baylor. Give me Baylor.
Spread or outright?
I'll take them outright. Money line.
Man.
I got them.
That would be good for me if Baylor won.
Gonzaga's not going undefeated.
I think Gonzaga does it. I think they get it done. 32-0. I don't care what anybody says about their schedule or their conference.
Right.
Even if they lose this game, there's still no argument to be made about this.
I can't wait till people are like, see, told you they don't play in a conference.
Yeah.
I can't do the voice as good as you, but you know what I'm
saying.
They did
nothing but, beat everyone by double digits and the whole thing. But,
That's right.
Should be interesting. The good thing for me is that I can play to both sides here. I like both teams a lot.
That's right.
Bet on both teams. I think this was my number
bet on both
3.
Teams.
I think it was my number 3 and 4 preseason teams because I think I had Villanova and Kentucky or something like that. I don't think it was Kentucky. I don't remember who it was. But there you go. All right, that'll do it for us. You're taking Baylor. I'm taking Gonzaga. We'll see who's right. And yeah, hopefully this game doesn't suck. And
True.
go both teams.
Go both teams.